We think the problem with the AC unit on this car is that the Schrader valves are leaking. So sister's going to loosen that high side and you're likely going to hear a psh. Hear that? Oftentimes when the AC isn't working in your car, the Schrader valves are leaking. Before you replace the Schrader valve, you want to make sure that the refrigerant has been evacuated from the system. That system is under high pressure when it has refrigerant in it. When you're working on any AC system, you want to make sure you wear safety glasses. If you have to replace the Schrader valve, you also need to replace the receiver dryer, which is this thing right here. Because that means if you have to replace the Schrader valve, you have moisture in your system. Whenever you work on your AC system or replace a part, that means evacuate it, replace a part, Schrader valve, whatever it is, you need to replace the receiver dryer. If you have a leak in your AC system, you want to check your Schrader valve. See if that's holding or if it's leaking. If you take the cap off the Schrader valve and you hear a psst, that's a good indication that your Schrader valve is leaking. Then you pull a vacuum on it. You put a vacuum on the car. Once you put the gauge lines and the valves on these ports, these service ports, it becomes a closed system if the only leak that you have is a Schrader valve. So you pull that vacuum on it. If the gauges hold on your vacuum, then you know that your likely culprit for a leak is a Schrader valve. Then you replace the Schrader valve. After you replace the Schrader valve, your system has been open, and of course you want to replace the receiver dryer too. After you replace the Schrader valve and the receiver dryer, then you pull a second vac on it. And the purpose of the second vac is twofold. To make sure that you don't have a leak in your system because you've done work on it. And secondly, to draw out all the moisture that's in your system. Because the shaft on this Schrader valve removal tool isn't long enough for us to loosen, tighten, or remove that Schrader valve in that port, we're going to use this. We're going to take a hacksaw and remove the tip right there, and then this shaft on this tool will give us the depth we need to remove that Schrader valve. And I got this out of this kit that I got at a garage sale for 50 cents. So on some cars, you need a Schrader valve removal tool that's deeper. There you go. We broke off the end with that tool. Now she's looking really good. We're going to file off the metal at the end there, and we're going to use that tool to remove the Schrader valve. Make sure that your refrigerant is discharged or evacuated from your AC system in your car before you change that Schrader valve. There we go. It loosened the Schrader valve. I'm going to try to pull that out now. There you go. That's the Schrader valve, y'all. This is how this Schrader valve works. The stem is like a plunger. What tends to give way on these Schrader valves are these O-rings. There's one there, and there's one right down there. We went and got a new Schrader valve. And this is a kit that has the Schrader valve size we need, and it has caps. But depending on the make and model of your car, you have to find out what kit will work for your car, or Schrader valves and caps. So we're going to put that Schrader valve in now. So here's the new Schrader valve. This is a little awesome tool we made. She's going to put that Schrader valve in now and then tighten it with that little tool. Sister said it bottomed out. She's going to snug it a bit.
Made a little noise like it's probably done.
Made a little click. Like it's
Won't go anymore.
fully seated. So Schrader valve won't go anymore. We think it's fully seated. And that's how you put one in, folks. Unless you have the real tool and then use that. Alright, y'all. That's the original cap from the car. This is the one that came in the kit with the Schrader valves. This one is deeper than this little guy. They both work. They both have washers in them. We're going to be using the new one because it has a new washer in it. But right now we're going to put the lines on, the high and low, and do a final vacuum to see if the system holds with the repairs we've done. And that's how you change a Schrader valve on a vehicle AC system. Hope it helps, and happy DIYing.